Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Talks with Chug. Each week, we cover pressing topics that matter to you and your business. I'm Arianna Gonzalez from Chug Attorneys and CPAs, tuning in from our San Diego office. Please join me in welcoming Senior Managing Partner Sharmila Karingula from our Hyderabad office. Hi there, Sharmila, and welcome.
Hi, Arianna. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So
Thank
let's today discuss about the transparency in filing the petitions from department and petitioners and applicants' perspective today.
Absolutely. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This conversation is for informational purposes only. It does not create an attorney-client relationship, so please send us your questions in the comments below or email us anytime at info@chug.com. So let's get right into it, Sharmila. Can you tell me, how does transparency in petitions and applications contribute to building trust and credibility with the public and authorities?
Yeah, sure, Arianna. So transparency helps build trust by showing that there are no hidden agendas or hidden information, deceitful motives behind a petition or an application we filed with USCIS. So when people can see the full context and the motivations and supporting data, they are more likely to believe in the integrity of the process and its initiators, which in turn enhances credibility and encourages support. That's what I believe in. So, when we, for example, if you look at the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, right? So, the context would be the DACA program implemented in 2012 under the Obama administration allowed undocumented individuals like brought to the US as children to apply for deferred deportation status and work permits. So the application process was transparent with the clear eligibility requirements and processes communicated to applicants as well. So at this point of the time, what the applicants would do is they have the clear instructions from the USCIS and they make sure they're not kind of missing anything to submit the application with the USCIS. At the same time, they will make sure that they are not giving any additional information that is not required for the to process the applications. So the impact would be the transparency of the DACA process helped to build trust with the immigrant community. So as well as with the broader public, I would say. So it encouraged many young immigrants known as dreamers to come forward and apply for the program. So knowing that they would be treated fairly under a well-defined legal framework, despite challenges, the transparency fostered sense of stability and inclusion among applicants. So for per se, if you look at the employment-based green card applications also, so a US employer petitions for an employment-based green card on behalf of a foreign worker. So the petitioner must provide evidence that the worker meets the eligibility criteria, such as specific qualifications and experience, along with the necessary supporting documents, right? So transparency in the petition process, such as clear instructions for employers about the types of documentation needed and the criteria for approval, ensures that the petitioner submits accurate and complete information, so that that minimizes errors, avoids delays, and improve the likelihood of the petition being approved. So basically, transparency regarding the processing times and potential delays helps both the employer and the employee manage expectations, Ariana. So it's a clear instructions both from the USCIS and also the petitioners and the beneficiaries and the applicants should follow the same.
Wow, really great information there. Thank you for going into such detail on that. So, what are the potential risks of overexposing sensitive information in petitions or applications?
So when we look at the petitions that kind of gives more information that is required, like when we say overexposing sensitive information such as personal details or confidential data, can lead to privacy breaches or security risk. For instance, revealing the identities or personal circumstances of the petitioners, that is not at all required for the processing petitions and applications. So it might expose them to harassment or discrimination or even threats sometimes. So this could also undermine the protection of trade secrets or competitive information. So it is always required to give the departments the only information which is required, provided by the departments, and not to give the extra information which is not required to process the petition and approve. So the impact would be like, the overexposure of sensitive data, and especially related to applicants' immigration status, led to concerns about identity theft, as I earlier said. So this incident illustrated the risk of transparency in immigration filings when sensitive and personal information is not adequately protected, leading to a loss of trust in the immigration system itself. So in the context of the petitioner standpoint, so U.S. employers who wish to hire foreign workers in specialized fields must submit an H-1B petition and any other non-immigrant petition on behalf of the employee, right? So the impact would be there should be a transparency in the petition process that ensures the employer understands the documentation needed, including proof of the employee's qualifications and the job specialty requirements. So basically, we should see that there is a clear communication regarding the annual cap on the H-1B visas, lottery system, and timelines for submission helps employers and potential employees plan accordingly. So the visibility of these processes helps prevent confusion and frustration, enabling employees to submit complete and accurate petitions and ensuring that the applicants are well informed about their chances. So it's vice versa. Even the beneficiary should know, like, what are the documents that has to be submitted when the documentation is asked and the information that has been provided. So the petitioner has to carefully submit the petition with the USID only with the required information. Yeah.
That's a great reminder on that topic as well. Can you touch on what selective transparency is and how it helps balance openness with the protection of sensitive information?
Sure. So selective transparency refers to sharing only the key relevant information that is crucial for understanding the petition or application that we file. So while withholding sensitive or private details, by providing a summary or an overview that covers the important points without compromising privacy or security. So it ensures transparency without exposing vulnerable data. So like example can be in context of in 2019, the Trump administration introduced a new public charge rule, which made it more difficult for low-income immigrants to obtain green cards if they had used public benefits such as Medicaid or food stamps. So the rule was transparently explained, including the criteria for determining who would be considering a public charge. So the impact was the transparency of the public charge rule was balanced with the protection of the applicant's privacy, as the rule focused on public benefits use, not revealing unnecessary private details. So, but however, the clarity of the rules criteria helped immigrants understand the potential impacts on their green card applications and made the process more predictable, despite the controversial nature of the policy, and vice versa from the applicants to the department by not providing unnecessary data in the petition. Petition filings helps the authorities to understand the applications better without the overloaded unnecessary information. So it is kind of required to be very selective when we are submitting the information to the departments that is only like, needed for the to validate and analyze the petition that we submit.
Wow, really good information to know on this. So, can you tell us how transparency encourages public participation in petitions or applications?
So transparency allows the public to fully understand the cause, context, and details of a petition or application. So when the information is clear and accessible, people are more likely to engage with the cause, sign petitions, or participate in discussions. So it fosters a sense of inclusivity and encourage people to take action knowing their involvement is based on accurate and open information. So, for example, if you look at the Form N-400, the U.S. citizenship application, when applying for U.S. citizen application, applicants must go through an open, transparent process, absolutely the transparent process with the clear steps, including the submitting Form N-400, that citizenship application, and also considering attending interviews and taking the citizenship test. So public engagement is encouraged through informational resources and community outreach also, and immigrant support organization that guide applicants through the process. I have seen some universities, major universities also guiding on the process of the N400. So we have the organizations like the Immigrant Legal Source Centers as well, provide resource and workshops to inform applicants and help them prepare, leading to higher engagement and more applicants successfully navigating the citizenship process. So it's the sources from the department and also the petitioners and the applicants that would follow the system. So it's like, both give and take role. Both of them should kind of follow the rules so that the limited information that is required to process for the applicants and the petitions is provided from the USCIS perspective, as well as the petitioners and the applicants and any other people that would file, make sure only the required information is kind of submitted to the USCIS. For example, in the context of an asylum seeker submits an application form I-589 to request protection in the US due to fear of persecution in their home country, right? So the petitioner is responsible for providing details of the threat they face and supporting evidence. So the impact would be transparency in the asylum application process to ensure that petitioners know exactly what to expect, clear instructions and what evidence is required, right? So example like testimony, country conditions reports, and what criteria are used to evaluate claims help petitioners present their cases effectively. So transparency also provides asylum seekers with information about their legal rights and available resources and what to do if they are denied, and also allowing them to make informed decisions throughout the process. So transparency is the key for the successful proceedings.
Really important information there. Can you touch on how does transparency help in holding individuals, organizations, or governments accountable for their actions?
Sure. So transparency ensures that the decisions and progress of petitions or applications are visible to the public and relevant authorities. I pointed out saying there have been many resources and sources that could provide the information online as well as with the non-profit organizations about what are the documents and the information that is required to submit to the authorities. So this visibility makes it easier to track commitments, verify claims, and ensure that promised actions are followed through. When decisions are made in the open, it holds stakeholders accountable and discourages dishonesty or neglect. So I would say family separation policy, for example, under the Trump administration in 2018. So the US government implemented a zero tolerance immigration policy that led to the separation of children from their parents at the US Mexico border. So the public was outraged when it became clear that the government was not transparent about the number of families separated and the lack of a clear plan to reunite them, right? So the impact was the lack of transparency around the implementation of this family separation policy led to significant public backlash. So as the situation became more visible, there were calls for accountability. And then what happened, eventually the government was forced to take action to reunite separated families and was publicly criticized for its lack of transparency. So if you look at the family-based green card petitions also, like Form I-130, the US citizens or permanent residents submit a petition to bring their foreign relatives to the US. So the petitioner is responsible, right, for providing the familial relationship, and meeting the specific eligibility criteria. So transparency in the application process for family-based petitions, such as providing clear instructions on the documents required. Example, the most important documents would be about evidence to kind of submit the documentation to showing the relationship between the petitioner and the beneficiary would be the marriage certificates or the birth certificates, and how to demonstrate a valid relationship helps prevent confusion or missteps that could lead to a denial. So additionally, I would say when the government is transparent about processing times, petitioners can better plan for their relatives' arrival and avoid frustration from unexpected delays. By making the process clear, authorities ensure that both petitioners and beneficiaries understand their roles in the process. On the other hand, the petitioner should be very transparent and submit the petitions proving the relationship between them. That's the most important document for these kind of the petitions, right? So it's kind of give and take again, like vice versa. Both the departments and the beneficiaries and the petitioners make sure, like, the relevant information is available to process the petitions.
Wow, absolutely wonderful insights today. Thank you so much, Sharmila, for answering our pressing questions that we usually get
Sure.
on this topic.
Mhm.
Thank you for taking the time. That is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for your insights today. This brings us to the end of our conversation. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. To stay up to date, please subscribe and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you have any questions or suggestions, please send us an email anytime at info@troop.com. Let us know what topic you want to see next, and make sure to join us back here next week for more pressing topics that truly matter to you and your business. Until next time, stay safe and take care. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sharmila.
Thank you so much, Arianna.